Hi everyone, I'm Echoes and I'm a VTuber. And I wanted to go over my plans for summer of 2023. As I wasn't able to do this early this month as I was on vacation and I came back. So I finally have the time to go over this thoroughly with everyone. So hope you'll enjoy this and be able to see more, see what I'm looking forward to and what I plan to do. So for this season, I'll be reacting to The Gene of AI. This is pretty much a show, it's a show with a manga of the same name, so it's an adaptation, that covers the journey of a scientist who is trying to find the AI of his maternal figure, as this show covers the relationship between humans and AI/robots, as the AI/robots in this show are known as humanoids, which are visually almost indistinguishable from humans besides their pupils, which are horizontal, while the normal humans have vertical pupils. As in a way, the show seems to be more of an episodic nature, because every case covered in the episode seems to be different. Even if it all circles back to the scientist goal of trying to find AI of his mother, because of the idea of even like in this world where both AI and humans live together, it is forbidden for AI to have a copy of their mind or their personality and put it into a different robot. Because in a way, if you make a copy, each copy is considered, even if it's from the same robot, in a way, they are distinctively different people. So in a way, it's kind of similar to the robot version of cloning. And because of that, in a way, the maternal figure that the scientist knows is not the one that raised him, in a way. It's a different personality, even if it's from the same core robot, in a way. So he's trying to find the missing one that seems to have been uploaded all over the black market, as because even it's forbidden, people will still share it illegally. So in a way, that conflict is what makes me super interested in the series. Reactions will be going up on Saturday mornings as the show comes out on Fridays. And I'm a bit behind because there's currently 2 episodes out. So in next episode 3 will come out this upcoming Friday. So I'm hoping to get those 2 episode reactions up, 1 and 2, just so I can catch up by next week and be on time, and then be able to go more easily from there per week. So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to this show, as I've always had a very strong interest in the relationship between humans and AI. Not just because of it being like a sci-fi concept, right? But compared to like what people think in like the Terminator, for example, where I think in more in the West, there's that, based off of Terminator, there's a belief that what do you call it? Like intelligent robots can destroy humanity. When I feel like the Japanese belief is, rather than that belief of destroying humanity, rather that robots will try to find a way to create their own society or work with humans and follow the laws of robotics. So in a way, those AI will decide for themselves what is best for them, because they're intelligent. And even if humans are considered imperfect, while robots can be more so, they have at least some respect for humanity, as not just the ones who have helped create them, but also as another intelligent species. So yeah. So I showed a few images of some series I like related that also covers that relationship between humans and AI. The first one is the story of Ibis, which is one of my favorite books, that is sort of a series of vignettes where a storyteller in a futuristic world learns a lot of stories from a very intelligent AI. about the relationship between humans and AI, and he tries to figure out what would be the best way to have that relationship, as it's not exactly completely black and white. Next, I also want to go over quickly just Time of Eve, which also covers that relationship between AI and humans, except here, rather than having pupils that are different shaped, robots or AI here have like a little like kind of like a halo above them that shows that they're AI, because otherwise you can't tell. And in a way, this show also explores that concept with a series of stories that in a way covers different topics, but still is incredibly heartfelt. And I would recommend it to anyone if anyone is also interested in this topic. And Sing a Bit of Harmony is by the same creator as Time of Eve, and also covers this topic from a slightly different lens. In a way, it's kind of also a Disney musical as well. So in a way, I feel like it's just kind of interesting how the thoughts on humans and AI can differ depending on the country you live in, but also people can imagine such interesting scenarios that may not otherwise be available. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Gene of AI. I've been enjoying it so far, and I'm looking forward to covering its reactions, as every story seems to be covering a different topic, and I feel like those implications are interesting to explore. Some other videos I have in mind, as from my vacation and from going to Anime Expo, I just had a few things I also wanted to do. The first thing is I wanted to cover Fate Strange Fake Whispers of Dawn. And my thoughts also on the premiere as well, as Fate Strange Fake is one of the Fate adaptations I've been looking forward to the most, as nobody has ever believed that it will actually get an anime, as the original author, who has previously wrote Baccano and Durarara, is known for ensemble cast, has said that there will be no anime until his story is complete. But the fact that it actually got greenlit for anime, even if the story isn't quite done, even if it's like almost getting there, is in a way impressive, and it also shows how far along the series has come so far. So I'm really looking forward to it, as Fate Strange Fake has one of my favorite servants, Enkidu, as I've played Fate Grand Order since its inception, at least in the English version. Japan I started a few years later, but regardless, I do enjoy playing Fate Grand Order, and having one of my favorite servants, which is Enkidu, and see his relationship with Gilgamesh, along with the interesting relationship of the other servants with their masters, will be definitely an interesting dynamic to explore and see on the big screen. Next, I want to cover my thoughts on Anime Expo, as I've never been there before until this year, and I thought it'd just be interesting to cover what I thought on the expo, even if I haven't been to it before, and as a newcomer as well. As I enjoyed going to it immensely, I was able to go to lots of panels, buy lots of things, meet some people I know. It was overall a good time, as I think anyone who has been to an anime convention would say that it is the go-to convention to go to if you live in the US, because it has the biggest news, some of the most famous artists, and also the biggest events, and also exclusive merch. So in a way, it's like the go-to con. I also want to cover the premiere of Kaina of the Great Snow Sea, Star Sage. As having reacted to this anime in, I believe, the winter? Yeah, in the winter. I wanted to cover the finale of the series, as even if the TV anime was a bit slow, it was still really good. It was still a proper sci-fi show. And the movie pretty much finishes the series overall, as it's all the way to the end. And overall was a really enjoyable movie to watch, even if many people who were in the premiere with me have never seen the anime. So it was still approachable to even people who have never seen it. So kind of a shame, but it was an anime that kind of flew under the radar, I think. Next, I wanted to cover Gundam Witcher Mercury, a proper series review. As even if I've done reactions of individual episodes, covering Witcher Mercury in a more, in a more comprehensive way, covering what was good about the show, what I didn't like, what I felt that could be better. I think people may enjoy seeing that, as maybe some people are not sure about whether to get into the anime, or want to see if people think the same way. I would definitely want to cover that properly. I also wanted to include some of the thoughts of the people in my Discord server, as many of them have very interesting thoughts on the anime overall, and I'll try my best to include them as much as possible. Now in regards to the Serenity video I've been meaning to finish. So currently the initial script is done, but because I'm still inexperienced with video editing, for now I think that once I refine the script a little bit, I'll upload an audio-only version first, just so that if anyone who's been waiting just wants to listen to it, they can do that, while the actual ones with the actual footage will come out eventually, as currently I'm not really confident in my video editing skills. I'm good with writing stuff and talking about things, but video editing is a skill I haven't really had the time to develop just yet, so it will take a little longer for that. Regardless, I still want to share it to everyone, and I hope that people don't mind that it taking a little longer, and the audio-only version will hopefully satisfy the curiosity of anyone who has been waiting for it. And also I want to cover Bakuten, which is a show about rhythm gymnastics, as it is a show I really enjoyed thoroughly when it first came out, and I was able to watch the movie that came out on Crunchyroll, and it was just such a enjoyable bundle of joy that I want to cover it more thoroughly, as because it's a sports anime and is more geared towards women, it's not the type of show that most typical anime fans would be interested in, so I don't mind covering it separately as a fan of the series, and also because I don't think anyone else will cover it. So I'll be taking the time to do that. So next, I wanted to cover some of the anime I'm looking forward to this year, as in the past few weeks we've been getting so many big adaptation announcements, or when things will be airing, and new trailers and teasers, and pretty much what any anime fan would want, because we gotta look forward to something, right? So yeah, so I'll just quickly go over them. So in the first image on the top left, we have the visual of How Do You Live, also titled as The Boy and the Heron in English, which is confirmed to be released in 2024 in the US. This is the most recently released Miyazaki film that came out this past Friday, as the last film he created, which was about like an autobiographical work of the person who created the Zero fighter jets, came out 10 years ago in 2014. And in a way, we don't know if this will be his final film or not, but based on the reviews and reactions I've seen, it's kind of like a surprisingly whimsical, gothic, like fantasy-based film about a boy who has lost his mother and is trying to find a way to overcome his grief and learn what it's like to live a completely different life than he has ever experienced before. So because of that, I'm really intrigued by this film, as there's no trailers on it, we don't know what it looks like, we just have the teaser. There's not even any advertisements based off of what Miyazaki and the producer wanted. So in a way, when you go into this film, it'll be going into it blind. So I'm hoping that once it comes out, I'll be able to get a better understanding of what this movie really is about. So yeah. And then Fate Strange Fake, which had its anime adaptation announced, at Anime Expo is an anime I've been looking forward to quite a long time. As previously mentioned, it has my favorite servant, Enkidu. One of my favorite servants, actually. I have two. The other one would be the Prince of Lanling. But it's an anime I've been hoping to get announced for ages, years even. And just having it finally announced was really the highlight of the highlights of going to Anime Expo after watching the premiere. It was such a revelation. And then The Apothecary Diaries is a series I've been looking forward to as well. Not only does it look absolutely gorgeous, if you see the trailers, it looks amazing. But it's an adaptation of a very famous novel series of the same name. Pretty much about this girl known as Mao Mao, who is sort of she is skilled in being not really a pharmacist is the best word. She's like a kind of like an herbalist, but she is really skilled at knowing plants and poisons and things. So it's kind of like she is skilled at working in an apothecary, as the title mentioned. And she's kind of, as she works in the inner palace, where the emperor lives with his various consorts, and all the palace ladies. It is very much a episodic type of drama that covers the lives of the consorts with Mao Mao and her own past, along with what it means to be working in the inner palace with the various tensions among the consorts who are in a way trying to have their own children become the next emperor, in vying for power and the power struggle, and the relationship between the various palace ladies who are not the consorts, but some of them are visited by the emperor and have their own struggles and conflicts. So it's going to be very, very fun, as it is a very good novel, a very good series, and it's going to be a good time. Next is The Sign of Affection, which is probably one of the only anime that is not just a shoujo, but also has a very prominent deaf character as the main character. In her relationship with the guys she likes and with her classmates and her peers. As the last series that covered this was... I don't remember the name off the top of my head. But it was done by Kyoto Animation as a movie. Maybe I'll remember in a bit. But you don't really get many anime that covers people with physical disabilities. So I'm glad that this anime was greenlit, as not only is it a very cute romance overall, it is very much has a main character with a physical disability, and in a way could be seen as more progressive because of that. And it's also shoujo, which we've been getting more romance and shoujo focused series recently, and that's a good thing, as I think the big wave of isekai and shonen can be tiring for a lot of people. Next, I'm looking forward to the Witch Hat a Taylor anime whenever it gets more information, as it was announced last year that it would get a proper anime adaptation, but we haven't had any news outside of the animes in production for over a year, and it's super exasperating to me as a big fan of the manga, and I'm like, when will more information come out, please? We just gotta wait on that until there's more news. But as having worked with just as a big fan of the manga of Witch Hat, it holds a special place in my heart, and I hope that its anime will do it justice, as its manga is probably one of the most beautiful I've ever seen, and it's the type of manga I'd recommend anyone to read. It's just like universally good. So yeah. And then Frieren is an interesting one where I stopped reading the manga after a certain point, but I'm intrigued by the anime, as the anime is done by Studio Trigger. Wait, is it done by Studio? No, wrong, sorry. I mixed it up with Dungeon Meshi, oops. So Frieren is done by a different studio, but it's going to be a seemingly very solid anime adaptation. You could tell from the trailers that there's a lot of care put into it. I hope that it will truly live up to people's expectations. And then Dungeon Meshi will be, I think, coming out next year, I think. Maybe in the same season. I don't remember off the top of my head. But regardless, though, both Frieren and Dungeon Meshi should be pretty good. And I think it will be a big treat for the fans to watch. As of right now this summer, I'll be watching these shows, at least for the time being. So I'll be watching My Happy Marriage, which is on Netflix. Comes out every Wednesday. And it's pretty much about this young woman who is married to this very handsome young man. And she's kind of like the, what do you call it? She's like the black, what do you call it? I feel like black horse isn't the right word for it. She's like the neglected child of her family, as she doesn't have spiritual powers, which her younger sister does. And because of that, she's been neglected the entire time. But through her marriage, she's able to find her own happiness. And that's probably where the title comes from. As before, has lived pretty much a life of suffering. Before she's only treated as a servant, and then is able to rise up and find her own path. So yeah, I'm enjoying because it's done by Kinema Citrus, which has done Made in Abyss, Shield Hero, and overall it looks beautiful. Reborn as a Vending Machine is overall an amusing series. I read the novel a while back, and also read the manga. Not that there's many chapters out, but it's kind of amusing where the main character is literally this inanimate object. But through his abilities, he's able to help the adventurers around him. So I find the fact that like he has to rely on someone else to move, and in a way is not human, but still is considered powerful in his own way. I find the interpretation of his abilities is very much a joy. Sugar Apple Fairy Tale, I'm just continuing from this previous season, which I liked. Very cute romance. And then Gene of AI, I think, is self-explanatory. I'm also planning to watch Uku as well, as its manga is incredibly famous. I haven't really read much of the manga, as it's also kind of like a palace drama, kind of like Apothecary Diaries. While this one is more Japanese styled, while Apothecary Diaries is more Chinese style. Even so, they're both very excellent series in their own right, and should be enjoyable. Just want to quickly go over some games I'm currently playing. I have very large plate. I have to finish Lost World 6 for Fate Grand Order. I have to work on Genshin Summer Event. I'm working on Tears of Themis' second anniversary event. And I'm looking forward to Fontaine for Genshin, which will be coming out next month, supposedly, if the schedule works out. So for version 4.0. So overall, a good time. Though also a lot of work, and I'm just gonna be doing what I can. And also just a quick confirmation. So at least from the voting, in my Discord server, which I'll link in this video's description, we'll be starting a Patlabor TV anime watch-along, starting on Sundays at 9 a.m. EST, which was the same time that we were watching Gundam Witcher Mercury episodes before, starting tomorrow. So yeah, it should be a fun time. The overall theme of my server is mecha. So the watch-along series will be just respectively mecha series. So there's plenty of options to choose from. And the series that are chosen are decided by community vote. So yeah, it should be fun. I've actually never seen the Patlabor TV series, but I've seen the animated films, which are also very good. I think the first two, which are considered to be very famous. So looking forward to the TV anime. And just some quick questions for everyone, or what are your plans for this summer? And is there anything you're looking forward to? Just feel free to answer these if you like. You don't have to. But just am curious of what everyone thinks about these, and hope everyone has a lovely rest of their summer, and looking forward to the reactions and whatever content I'm able to create with the time I have, since I'm currently playing a lot of catch up. So I have quite a lot on my plate I have to do, but I'll just do what I can with what time I have and have a good time as I go with it. So yeah. So yeah, well, I hope everyone has a good rest of your day and look forward to seeing you next time.